Zhang Yu looked at the figure vaguely visible in front of him and quietly asked, "Who are you?" Seeing this, the king of the road flashed his characteristic arrogant smile, his hand firmly gripping the sword behind his back. The scar across his left eye made him look even more unruly. "Oh, what's wrong? Have you heard of my reputation before?" Running his hand through his long black hair, the king of the road thought to himself, "It's been a while since I've made a name for myself. Today, I'll put on a spectacular performance in front of everyone." Recalling when he defeated the elite boss Amon single-handedly with the cross 8-blade slash after 28 failures, the king of the road's eyes gradually became firm. Ammonius sword. The reward after defeating that boss was now firmly in his hand. "This time, I definitely won't lose to you again. Maybe I should thank that boss, it helped me understand who I am. I am the king of the road, a lonely and solitary but powerful wolf. The thing that can defeat me is never difficulty, but myself becoming stronger in the next second." The king of the road's eyes gradually turned icy, and the sword behind him also gradually changed to a mysterious blue flame. "Come on, no matter who you are, I won't lose." Suddenly, a whooshing sound, a flash of red light streaked across and pierced the king of the road's chest. Zhang Yu's coat fluttered in the wind as he turned his back to the king of the road and thought, "This guy still talks too much nonsense." As for the king of the road, he only managed to let out a loud gasp before being completely stunned by the speed and power of the attack just now, or rather, the king of the road was still in a daze, not even understanding what had just happened. No one but Zhang Yu was now juggling with his weapon after that surprise attack. "No way, I can't lose, I haven't even used my move yet, my self-created skill hasn't even shown its divine power, this doesn't count, give me another chance. Why is this hateful feeling so familiar?" Ignoring the king of the road who was still recovering from the psychological shock, Zhang Yu listened silently with a judging look as the commentator announced, "Player Zhang Yu number 4 has quickly defeated player king of the road number 13, under the stands." Amidst the bustling cheers, a figure in bright red armor chuckled, "Third brother, is this the person that fourth brother and you couldn't kill?" The hooded figure next to him replied, "That's right, it's him." Interesting, the red-armored figure smirked, and immediately the blue-haired guy next to him protested, "Hey, that's my prey." The commentator's voice continued to echo, "Please welcome the next player to the stage." The next battles were incredibly fierce, with everyone using their refined techniques to seize the opportunity. Luna easily won with her special skill, shattering her opponent's sword amidst the announcement. Player number 7 Luna uses flowing water and drifting cloud sword techniques to defeat her opponent, advancing straight to the top 16. Luna's beautiful face remained cold and emotionless, as if victory was too easy for her. Then, player number 26, Ah Fei, used a fiery fist straight to his opponent's groin with a cunning face, laughing heartily when he saw the other guy in pain. The commentator couldn't stop laughing as he joked about the smell of burnt meat on the stage. "Oh my god, what's that smell? That's too brutal. I didn't expect player number 26 to use the barbecue chicken technique to blow away his opponent." Advancing to the top 16, Navigator appeared in a hot, slit dress, her legendary purple hair slightly flicked to the side after delivering a heavenly punch to her opponent, sending him flying off the stage. The commentator's voice echoed excitedly again, "A perfect attack. Congratulations to player number 18, Navigator, for advancing to the top 16. Under the stands, the red armor frowned slightly. "Third brother, do you see how this Navigator's techniques and habits are very similar?" The green-hooded figure chuckled, "I think it's more than 80% her." Next, please welcome player number 27, Little Chili, to fight player number 6, Daybreak. Daybreak, with her eyes covered by a black cloth, slowly stepped onto the stage. "It's my turn." The red armor didn't forget to remind his teammate, "Imagine it's like practice, maintain your emotions between tension and relaxation." Zhang Yu's team also didn't forget to take care of Little Chili, the girl with bright red pigtails like a real chili and a personality as hot as a chili. Navigator smiled gently, "You have to try your best, otherwise, I'll punish you by not letting you eat hot pot tonight." "Defeat her, Little Chili," she smiled with certainty. "Yeah, no problem." Under the stands, everyone's eyes were glued to the two girls on the stage. Layers of fine dust swirled up after the previous battles, making their figures vaguely visible, adding to the drama. The atmosphere was pushed to an extreme climax. Under the stands, there was constant excited discussion. "Wow, I didn't expect to see professional players at such close range. I want to see what's different about the people from the famous Daybreak Guild." A person with a small stature and bright red hair tied into 2 buns, her outfit also in a powerful red color, a fearless smile on her lips. Little Chili gently channeled a source of bright fire around her fist, her whole body in a fighting stance, saying to her opponent, "The Daybreak Guild is very powerful. Today I'll show you what it means for there to be a higher mountain than any mountain." On the opposite side, Daybreak. With an expressionless face, her eyes covered by black cloth, her coat covering her from head to toe, only revealing her brown hair falling in front of her chest, Daybreak. Smiled lightly, her hands wrapped tightly in white bandages gently raised, on them were 5 multicolored stones inlaid into the back of her hand, a heavy iron bracelet on her wrist, little chest but big mouth, Little Chili looked down at her modest chest and stammered, "What did you say?" A fire of anger erupted. Little Chili created firepower with her feet, causing a thunderous explosion, using its destructive power to rush straight at Daybreak. Small chest is a trend, you know. Seeing Little Chili rushing towards her in a sea of fire, Daybreak. Calmly taunted, "Angry now, maybe you yourself are." "Shut up." Little Chili was like she'd been injected with chicken blood, her eyes gradually turning crimson. Little Chili's whole body was on fire, rushing towards Daybreak. With a kick aimed at her neck, hoping for a neck-breaking kick straight to her vitals. Even so, Daybreak. Gently dodged it, leaving only a gust of wind. "Don't even think about dodging." Little Chili turned around in mid-air immediately, releasing a large circle of fire from her body, engulfing everything within its radius. The sky-filled fire attacked Daybreak. Directly, forcing her to only release a purple technique to block it. Excellent. Player number 27 is controlling fire to attack her opponent from mid-air, the commentator's voice echoed. Player number 6, Daybreak. Uses a reactive skill, dodging the opponent's attack, but it seems she's still a little injured. Daybreak. Witnessing the destructive power of the technique just now, was pushed back into a black streak on the stage. Her face gradually became serious. Daybreak. Began to release purple spiritual energy around her body. "This is getting interesting. Time to get more serious to play with you, kid." The stones on her hands sparkled with multicolored light, bearing the spiritual summoning technique, Inferno Spirit. A vortex of spiritual energy opened wide in the air. A creature resembling a dog rushed out amidst the blinding purple light according to Daybreak. Summoning, woof woof woof. Its whole body was also wrapped in white bandages, only revealing its small red nose and sharp teeth. It looked extremely intimidating. Every step it took left behind strange purple flames. With lightning speed, it rushed towards Little Chili with its small body, crackling with dark purple electrical fire. Little Chili's eyes widened slightly in shock. A summoner, this dog is too fast, but the summoned creature's actions only follow one direction. I just need to predict it and deal with it. With a loud bang, Little Chili released a giant fireball, aiming straight at Inferno Spirit. The dog surrounded by dark purple electrical fire summoned by . The flames gradually engulfed the dog in red light. It's just that unexpectedly it still rushed straight through the flames, only a few inches away from Little Chili. What? Little Chili was surprised, but that one moment of carelessness was enough for ... to gain the upper hand. A source of dark purple spiritual energy pierced straight up from the ground at the position Little Chili was standing, throwing the small girl into the air. The destructive power caused the stage to explode into a large pit. Rays of purple light carrying electrical fire continuously shot straight at Little Chili, leaving behind clouds of dust. Under the stands, Little Chili's teammates were restless. "This is bad. That summoned beast has very strong fire resistance. Fire attacks are nothing to it." Pant pant. Little Chili's body was covered in wounds from the electrical fire. Her clothes were scorched in large patches, but she still stood firm on the stage, reaching out to wipe the blood from the corner of her mouth. Her body was still smoking from the severe burns just now, but that still couldn't defeat the small girl. Seeing her miserable appearance, ... couldn't help but sneer, "Hee hee, if you don't want to become too miserable, I advise you to surrender early." The Inferno Spirit under ... Dot's feet was still growling and looking at Little Chili with hostility. "Surrender." Little Chili continued to launch hundreds of fire arrows while rushing at ... She was determined not to surrender. Seeing this, ... sighed slightly while easily deflecting the fire arrows along with the 2 Inferno Spirits on either side. "It's useless, just based on you, don't waste your strength anymore." Raising her hand to shield the gusts of wind blowing dust into her eyes, Little Chili roared, "Fire whirlwind." A whirlwind of fire appeared, engulfing everything around it with little Chili at its center. Its power made ... stunned, the fiery light illuminated the entire arena, blinding the audience. Seeing this, her teammates clapped non-stop. Great, little Chili used Fire Meteor to close the distance, then used Fire Whirlwind at close range to easily engulf both the person and the dog in the attack. ... shouted, Inferno Spirit, protect me. Inferno Spirit barked once and quickly rushed forward. Created a purple spiritual energy shield, blocking the frantic, devouring, and swirling flames. But neither Fire Spirit nor Dian Dian noticed a blazing fire had circled behind them at some point. Little Pepper shouted, since when? Dian Dian was stunned. It's over, goodbye. Little Pepper was now behind the figure, launching a massive waterfall of fire from above, crashing straight down on Dian. A huge fire erupted, and the sea of flames instantly swallowed Dian. The commentator's voice was excited by such a visually stunning battle. Amazing. Player number 27, Little Pepper, used a series of attacks to trick player number 6 and then circled behind for a surprise attack. It seems the victor has been decided, hasn't it? Little Pepper landed gently after the super move. Suddenly Hua Xiao shouted, Little Pepper, be careful, she's not dead yet. Little Pepper looked suspiciously towards Dian Dian. Was slowly getting up with a deadly look in her eyes. Dian Dian reached up and removed the black cloth covering one eye. Instantly, her eye turned orange with an intensely burning blue light, incredibly terrifying and bizarre. The stones in her hand were now glowing brightly, completely different from before. With a drawn-out voice, Dian called out, 10,000 Spirit Summoning Technique, 5-element offense and defense. Streams of colorful light shot straight at Little Pepper, engulfing her in pain. As the dazzling multicolored light faded, 5 elemental creatures materialized around Dian Dian. Dian Dian smirked, sorry, kid, I forgot to tell you I don't just have one summon. Fluttering by Dian's shoulder was the Metal Spirit, in the form of an eagle with glittering golden. Behind her was the Water Spirit, in the form of a giant evolved blue carp. In front of her were the Earth Spirit in the form of a venomous orange spider, the Wood Spirit, an evolved green tree trunk, and the Fire Spirit, the dog with the pink-purple lightning bolts that was summoned earlier. The commentator was also alarmed by this scene. How terrifying. Player number 6, Daybreak Dian Dian, can actually summon 5 beasts with different attributes to attack her opponent. Moreover, she looks so relaxed. Player number 27, Little Pepper, can't even get up anymore. Congratulations to player number 6, Daybreak Dian Dian, for advancing to the top 16. The strength of the Daybreak Guild is truly well deserved. This player, Dian Dian, is ranked 5th in the guild. We don't know if the ranking is related to strength or not. We'll announce this to everyone in the next round. A haze of dust swirled around the arena floor. Little Pepper was helped off the stage by her teammates. Are you okay? You did great. It's just that her attributes countered yours. Little Pepper was silent. I lost. Oh, it's so embarrassing. Little Pepper burst into tears in her teammates' arms. Hua Xiao kept comforting her. If I face her, I'll definitely need your help. Gently wiping away her tears, Little Pepper said, you don't need to comfort me, I'm okay, I'll try to get stronger. Little Pepper's eyes blazed with determination. I absolutely won't lose to anyone who insults my flat chest. Her teammates looked helpless, so that's what it's about. At the same time, Luna looked towards the guild. The people of the Daybreak Guild are indeed incredibly strong. It feels like everyone is very difficult to deal with. The commentator continued to heat up the atmosphere. A very spectacular showdown. Continuing the competition, please welcome the remaining members of the Daybreak Guild to the stage. Next up is player number 5, Yixiao, from the Daybreak Guild, a tall figure with sea blue hair and sharp teeth. He has long, elven-like ears, and his tiny eyes look very scary. Even so, he's clearly an extremely powerful madman. With insane speed, he continuously launched attacks at his opponent, constantly yelling, too weak, too weak. The chilling sound of metal clashing echoed across the arena. Yixiao's opponent was completely defeated, his iron armor was shattered, and his arms and legs were severed. Player Yixiao, his name fits him perfectly. He is indeed like a wolf with a mouth full of fangs. The opponent didn't have a chance, just like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. Let's watch the match of the next player, also from the Daybreak Guild, player number 3, while his opponent was secretly sighing in relief because he was also human, thinking that he could withstand it. Then an arrow, carrying a mysterious blue light, came rushing. instantly split into many small arrows straight to the vital points on the opponent's body. Everything happened in the blink of an eye, leaving everyone unable to react. The commentator was even more excited. Player Kui Tien is too terrifying. The direction of each arrow shot is aimed at the opponent's weak points. It looks like a simple arrow, but it's actually a display of superb calculation and skill. Next player please. The figure with a mysterious mask hugging his face slowly advances to the arena. The long legs revealed under the cloak move at a speed invisible to the naked eye, kicking straight into the opponent's stomach, knocking him into the air. With just a single blow, the next member of the Daybreak Guild defeated his opponent, sending him flying far away, slamming straight into the stone wall behind him, creating a smoking crater. Player number 2, Lei Dao, defeated his opponent in an instant, without even drawing his blade. Next player please. Opposite the tall man now is the member with the fiery red armor of the Daybreak Guild, Guang Shu, but the two of them aren't fighting at all. It looks more like a master instructing a student. No, your current way of thinking about attacking is wrong. It's very difficult to create results that way. The taller man now sincerely bowed to Guang Shu, listening very attentive. In this situation, you should immediately use both hands to swing the axe down hard. It would be more overwhelming in terms of force. Come on, raise your hands a little higher. Daybreak Guang Shu even held the guy's hand to guide him, like this. Very good, exactly like that. The audience was constantly booing in protest. Are they even going to fight? After a while, Guang Shu finally waved his hand. Okay, there's been progress. There's not much time left. Go down. The other person bowed deeply at a 90-degree angle. Thank you for your guidance. I'm willing to surrender. Seeing the situation like that, the players after that also followed each other to surrender because they knew that their strength could not defeat the Daybreak Guild, only to be wounded. Looking at that scene, Zhang Yu thought to himself, it seems that the others no longer have the spirit to continue fighting. Then there is only the Daybreak Guild to compete with. It seems that because of the Daybreak Guild's performance, the progress of the competition has been accelerated more than ever. Now we would like to announce the 8 strongest people. Daybreak Guang Shu, Daybreak Lei Dao, Daybreak Kui Tien, Daybreak Yixiao, Zhan Yu, Ah Fei, Hua Xiu. The 8th position will be decided by the match between player number 6 Daybreak Dian Dian and player number 7 Luna. Little Pepper clenched her fists, and told Luna, remember to pick her up and drag her across the floor for me. Ah Fei also couldn't hide his excitement. Luna, you'll definitely be able to do it. Responding to the encouragement from her teammates, Luna calmly replied, thank you, I'll try my best. Watching her figure walk onto the stage, Zhan Yu whispered, good luck. The whole stadium is now echoing with DM's name after her initially eye-catching match. Everyone is shouting her name loudly, making DM even more smug. So, you're a Flat Chest's teammate, looks like you're a bit bigger, but I wonder if you're stronger. In response to DM's mockery, Luna calmly replied, try fighting me and you'll find out. Bring out all 5 of your beasts. Her composure angered DM. She quickly opened 2 spirit energy circles in the air. Let's see if your strength is worthy. Taking a slight breath, Luna whispered, Starfall // A cold, blue light flashed from Luna's sword, shooting straight towards DMDM. DMDM was not to be outdone. She immediately ordered the water spirit to rush in from the opposite direction. Quick, don't let her close the distance. But it was too late. Luna darted behind while DMDM was still losing sight due to the blue light, delivering a blow with an ice shield straight at her. Unfortunately, DMDM dodged it by a hair's breadth. Phew, that was close, almost. While DMDM was still catching her breath, another attack hidden beneath the ice shield was released, slicing apart the black cloth she wore over her eyes. If she hadn't been quick, it would have been DMDM's face that was shredded. Luna just looked at her with indifference. In your previous match with Little Pepper, you secretly used this fish to absorb damage, right? Why pretend to be so relaxed? Fight seriously. Putting in your best effort is respecting your opponent, and that's respecting yourself. Under the stadium, Little Pepper clapped repeatedly. Great, Luna is so right. Ah Fei also cheered non-stop. Yes, press the attack and defeat her. On the Daybreak Guild side, Ghost Arrow smiled slightly. 5th Sis was a bit careless this time. Test Light added, what that girl named Luna said is very true. Hopefully 5th Sis will cherish this lesson. Yixiao just squatted down, picking his ear, muttering, how boring, when is it my turn? As for DM on the arena floor, she laughed maniacally looking at Luna. So what, just because you saw through a few tricks, you think you can win? With all 5 spirit gates open, DM summoned all 5 spirits without hesitation. Come on, let me show you the difference in strength between the two of us. DM immediately controlled the 5 spirits to attack Luna. Fire cannon. The fire and water spirits immediately launched attacks, forcing Luna to jump to avoid them. But she ran right into the metal spirit tearing through the wind. It was truly a critical situation. Thousands of blade-edged feathers, sharp as knives, were fired from the metal spirit. Luna had to raise both hands to block the destructive power. Even so, the feathers successfully knocked Luna down to the arena floor, even though she got up very quickly. But her leg was still entangled by the vines of the wood spirit. Not stopping there, the earth spirit's poisonous spider immediately set up a formation. Earth pillars, stone pillars pierced straight up from the ground, trying to imprison Luna. The wood spirit summoned a huge stone from the sky, falling straight down on Luna's head. She couldn't avoid it as the vines from the wood spirit held her tight. With a loud crash, thin layers of dust swirled around the stone. A triumphant look flashed across DM's face. The result is that I can easily defeat you. Under the stadium, Luna's teammates were uneasy. Navigator muttered, if she hadn't said those unnecessary words, she might have won. Little Pepper was annoyed. Damn it, that stinky girl. Ah Fei looked sad. Even Luna lost. Zhang Yu was more silent. He just silently assessed the situation. Her ability to coordinate the 5-element summoning beasts is very good. She's much stronger than before. The battle seemed to have come to an end. The stone lay alone in the arena, swallowing Luna whole. DM encouraged her teammates who had supported her. You all did a great job. Suddenly, Lu Li and Luna said in unison, now is the time. Luna used an extremely powerful sword technique with a blue light effect emanating from her sword, causing the stone to shatter into many pieces. This technique is called Great Sword Art. DM and her teammates were surprised by this resurgence. Luna flew in the air, holding her sword backwards, preparing to attack her opponent. DM was momentarily immobilized, her eyes looking forward. A sword slash descended with earth-shattering force. Smoke and dust rose. DM, though surprised, managed to use the earth-wood-water creation technique as a protection barrier to defend herself. The light of the sword seemed useless against DM's shield, while she was inside the protective sphere. Skybird and Guardian Hound flew to retaliate. DM's face wrinkled with anger. She cursed in her head, how despicable, how despicable. She gritted her teeth and endured. Damn it, this disgusting feeling is back. It's so nauseating and makes me sick to my stomach. The feeling that DM spoke of made her flash back to her childhood. A little girl sat huddled behind a partly open door. Tears streamed down her tender face. In front of her were the traces of a brawl, a broken wine bottle. DM sat trembling in the corner watching her parents argue. Her father angrily pointed at her mother and yelled, "What's with you going crazy from morning till night? It's impossible to talk to you reasonably." Her mother retorted resentfully, "I can't talk reasonably. The most unreasonable thing I ever did was being blind and marrying you in the first place." In a fit of anger, her father agreed. "Then let's just get a divorce and be done with it." The two argued back and forth, neither willing to give in, leaving DM like a little rabbit cowering in a corner. The little girl pursed her lips tightly, preventing the cries from bursting out while tears still streamed down. Her eyes closed to not witness anything more. In the blink of an eye, it was time for school. She didn't escape the violence either. Now she was a victim of school violence. Surrounded by female students, she looked very weak. The purple-haired girl who seemed to be the biggest spoke up, "You bitch, you're the one secretly seducing my boyfriend, aren't you?" Her hands were held tightly. She said weakly, "I didn't." The opponent scoffed and mocked. "I heard her parents argued so much they divorced because her mother had an affair, like mother, like daughter." After saying that, she grabbed DM's hair and laughed mockingly. "Those male students even said you have beautiful, innocent eyes. You really know how to pretend." Not stopping there, they also filmed the bullying. Green TB*TCH, "We're going to strip you naked and send the video to the group so everyone can see if you're really innocent or not." Hatred flashed in her eyes. What's coming will come. When she couldn't stand it anymore, DM resisted, jumping up and sitting on the person who was bullying her, biting the arm that dared to grab her hair. Purple Hair screamed, "Ah!" this B asterisk TCH bit me, she ordered the others around her, it hurts, pull her off quickly. The person holding the phone continued filming and said, I'm filming it, that's proof you hit your classmate. This world is both cruel and merciless, life is so difficult, how can I live happily? Maybe I should run away, disguise myself, grow fangs, and it'll be easier to breathe, right? A man is exhaling cigarette smoke. DM realized she needed to change to adapt to life around her. She began to indulge in games at the internet cafe. The man said, DM, I didn't know you were so pretty and good at games too. She smiled and replied, not at all, I have to thank Mr. Tiger for helping me solve the mess at school. He revealed himself to be a thug, turned to DM and said, no problem, how about you be my girlfriend? I guarantee no one will dare to bully you at school anymore. DM stammered, Mr. Tiger, didn't you say you saw me as a sis? He continued, the feelings are right. It's time to take it to the next level. A feeling of despair came again. Is this what they call the price? It's truly disgusting and nauseating. As Tiger's arm reached toward DM, someone blocked it. He scowled and shouted, damn it, who's there? A group of guys stood there. The man at the front held Tiger's hand and said, hey, she's still a kid. The guy next to him reminded him, Mr. Tiger is with Daybreak, we can't mess with them. Tiger asked back, Daybreak. The man coldly chased them away, get out, and don't show your faces at Daybreak Club's internet cafe again. The two guys resentfully walked away in anger, you dog, I'll remember you. After chasing away the thugs, he turned back to DM and praised, sis, you're really good at games, have you considered joining a club to be a gamer? Surprised by the offer, she asked back, club, gamer? He replied, that's right, I think you're very talented, and our Daybreak Club is just recruiting. Her eyes lit up as if she had found the light of her life. Back to the present, she is trying her best for her teammates, can't lose, must win, must play well. I'm representing Daybreak, which is both showing my dedication and also expressing gratitude to the place that saved my life. DM used her most powerful move, the 5-wheel offense defense perfect kill. The 5 killing paths were aimed at Luna. The technique damaged a part of the arena. The smoke cleared to reveal the power of the move. The arena had a hole in it. DM was panting but happy, I won. The bald judge gaped in surprise, what? The person next to him even dropped his glasses. Did player DM break the arena? Player Luna was defeated to the point of being vaporized. Her teammates shouted Luna's name in shock. Only Lu Li was different, he smiled and reminded everyone to look below the arena floor. Luna stood on her sword, somehow she had managed to stick her sword into the arena floor in time. She jumped onto the arena floor to continue the fight. Hey, DM wondered, what are you doing? Isn't that against the rules? The judge explained, player DM, from your point of view, your vision was obscured. Player Luna used her sword to stick it into the wall and hasn't fallen off the arena floor yet, so it's not against the rules. After returning, Luna's face hardened as she continued the fight. Next, it's my turn. DM got back into her fighting stance, so arrogant, don't think you can beat me. Luna used the moon/slash technique. The two techniques clashed in the middle of the arena, neither side willing to back down. The commentator's voice rang out. Player Luna used a spinning skill that caused player DM's water and fire attack to swirl together. Fire and water instantly created a large amount of steam, and now the entire arena is covered in thick fog. The fog effect is so strong that it limits visibility and makes it so annoying that you can't see anything. Suddenly there were spots of light approaching. It was Luna's star/move. Once again the point must use earth-wood-water circle to protect firmly. The bird of paradise and the guard dog were defeated one by one. Seeing his teammates defeated, he raised his shield to execute the giant sword technique. Seeing the opening, Luna suddenly appeared from behind. Just kidding, it was a light technique. She glanced back, not expecting that the moment she switched to attack mode was the moment she revealed the opening. Immediately, Luna coldly swung her sword to finish off her opponent. The fish head declared, the bones were broken, and contestant Luna defeated contestant DM and won the final victory. DM knelt down on the arena, her teammates were slowly disappearing, and there was still a wound on her back that tore her shirt. She told herself that she lost. A hand reached out towards her. It was Luna. She reached out her hand to her opponent wanting to shake hands, hoping that in the future she would be able to have another great match. The final image of the tournament table was completed. The last position in the top 8 belonged to player Luna. Player Zhan Yu's team could be said to be evenly matched with the Daybreak Guild. It was really very special. The next match to choose the top 4 would definitely be even more intense and dramatic. The opponents were equally skilled. In the end, who would be able to enter the next round? Who would be eliminated? Let's wait and see. The construction workers are working at full capacity. The competition just now was really intense, causing quite a bit of damage to the arena. They are currently undergoing repairs and reinforcement. Please wait a few minutes, audience. Returning to his teammates' arms, Little Chili took her hand and praised, "Luna, you're amazing. I was so nervous just now that I was sweating." Luna said, "The opponent was really strong. Luckily with your intelligence, I was able to turn the tables." After saying that, she looked in the direction of the dot and thought, and always felt a strong pressure behind her opponent. Sadly returned, she cried at her own defeat, "I'm sorry, I lost. Small salary in front of teammates, I am not qualified to be an official team member, I made Daybreak lose face." Thursday Kwong raised his hand to stroke her head to comfort her. What sad words. He continued, there was time to be depressed, so he did more summaries. She was very talented, it was just that her time in the team was too short, and the road ahead was still very long. It was normal to have some storms. Receiving the warm comfort, she raised her hand to wipe away her tears. Shi Guang led his teammates, but facing that team really can't be taken lightly. It looks like there's finally someone we can beat up properly. The break time passed, the 2 judges were in position. Okay, everyone has waited a long time, the man in black glasses said. Everyone has waited a long time, the fish head man continued. The stage has been fixed up, the competition continues. The man in black finished speaking. Please invite the next contestant to fight. First match of the top 8, please welcome player number 4 Zhan Yu, versus player number 5 Daybreak. Yixiao, Lu Li and Yixiao stare each other down. In contrast to Lu Li's seriousness, Yixiao laughs loudly. Zhan Yu, finally it's our turn. Both sides are ready, Yixiao continues. This time, no one will disturb us, let's quickly get this over with. Lu Li responds concisely, as you wish. The commentary rings out, oh, it's heating up, please welcome Zhan Yu and Yixiao to the newly reinforced arena, let loose and fight your hearts out. The 2 charge at each other, red and green sparks flying from the clash. Shockwaves emanate from the battle, affecting the surrounding environment. The arena floor tears open. Seeing the arena being destroyed for the second time, the 2 judges and the fish on their heads can't help but exclaim, it's cracked again, just the first move, and that's with the arena being reinforced tenfold. Ignoring the damaged ground, the battle continues, the sound of weapons clashing echoes. Yixiao, with a sinister smile, unleashes a move. He slashes directly at his opponent. Lu Li raises his arm to block the sword strike. He immediately retaliates with a move, Hoi Ton Tik Y. The 2 of them execute their swordsmanship skills in competition. Yixiao says gleefully, yes, it's still more exciting fighting you, this time you seem stronger than before. Not seeing a response, he continues, but you're not the only one who's gotten stronger. Pausing for a few seconds of conversation, the 2 warriors continue their fight. This time, the power is even stronger. Red and green lightning bolts are released, sending rocks and debris flying into the sky. The dust obscures the view of the match. Daybreak's team stands outside commenting. Thursday Kwong says, no wonder Lao Sai thinks so highly of that Zhan Yu guy, he's certainly interesting, his skills are not inferior to a professional player. On the other side, Zhan Yu's team also observes intently. Hua Xiao, with his hands clasped, says, the opponent is too strong. This is the first time I've seen someone fight evenly with Nhige even when he's serious. Luna adds, his name is Yixiao, his reactions and awareness are so fast, it seems his entire body is operating. Both are pushed back, the attack still gathers into a ball of lightning in the middle of the arena. Yixiao, burning with energy, tears off his shirt to reveal his rippling 6-pack abs. I'm warmed up enough, let's get a little serious, shall we? Not to be outdone, Lu Li immediately removes his cloak. The battle continues, the 2 charge at each other again. Yixiao swings his sword, and Lu Li raises his weapon to block. Yixiao suddenly lets go of his sword hilt. Lu Li is surprised as his weapon gets caught and spun around by his opponent's sword, and is knocked out of his hand. Both weapons fly away and embed themselves in the ground. The turning point of the match catches everyone's attention. the commentator exclaims, "What?" Yixiao suddenly used his leaving the sword technique to deflect Zhang Yu's weapon. Could it be that he wants, yes, a fistfight? Yixiao is already in position with his fists ready to fight. Still the aggressor, he attacks first. Lu Li sweats as he blocks a barrage of punches. Such a relentless attack will surely confuse his opponent. And that's exactly right. Yixiao sees an opening and immediately throws a devastating punch. Lu Li takes the punch directly to the face, blood spurting out as he falls backward. He puts his hand behind him to brace himself and uses it as leverage to spring back up. He kicks towards his opponent. His face remains emotionless. Adding another move, he springs up using his heel. He slams his knee into his opponent's face, causing him to bleed as well. Blood oozes from his mouth. He knows he's made a fatal mistake. Not allowing any downtime, the two trade punches to the face once more. The speed is too fast for the naked eye to follow. Lu Li blocks the punch, but the force is too strong, sending him tumbling backward. His strength is gradually being worn down, causing him to pant. He quickly regains his breath. He rushes towards Fong Na. He throws a roundhouse punch at his opponent, but because he is tired, the speed is no longer what it used to be. The opponent easily dodges and adds, "Zhang Yu, are you tired already? Such a big opening." As if seeing the end of the fight, he doesn't hesitate to use his ice fist technique. The punch strikes Lu Li directly in the stomach, sending him flying backward. Blood poured from him without stopping, and he flew backward. But he calmly smiled. Yixiao was puzzled. Something was wrong. He suddenly realized something. He flew to Lu Li and said, "We're screwed." Knowing the direction Lu Li was flying, he rushed over and shouted, "Where are you going to run?" He still managed to think, "Let's go." He no longer had any weapons. But at this moment, Lu Li got his weapon back. At the same time, Yixiao launched his punch. And then as fast as lightning, Yixiao flew up high, his whole body hit by Lu Li's blade. So it was over. Yixiao lost the match with a slash on his chest. His eyes rolled back and he fell unconscious. The Zhang Yu family cheered excitedly. Ah Fei raised his fist high. "We won. Second brother is extraordinary." Hua Qiao sent out a final heart for her husband, so intoxicating. The Daybreak team stood silently watching. Everyone was puzzled by Yixiao's defeat. Dian Dian said, "No way, even fourth brother lost." Third brother just snorted. Shang Guang might have anticipated this, thinking, "Oh fourth, my fourth." At any time, he could unleash an aura like a mad wolf. He would attack his enemies with wild ferocity, then let them get caught up in his rhythm. Either the enemy would beg for mercy, or he would become even more insane. Like a ferocious wolf chasing its prey, but wolves are both ruthless and possess a wild heart. In the end, humans will be driven to the edge of the cliff by the mad wolf. The wolf's eyes lit up, just like Yixiao's eyes now. They both emitted sparks of electricity. Thinking that move would take him down in one shot, who knew this guy would get even more excited, he mocked, "Too bad, Zhang Yu had a blade out." Lu Li suddenly turned to look. Suddenly, Yixiao was full of energy, breaking through his power and sending Lu Li flying away. Blood him passive skill. When the player loses 1% of health, their attack power increases by 1%. After the player recovers, the passive skill disappears in 5 seconds. The number 99% appeared above Yixiao's head. His foot stomped heavily on the ground. A sword appeared in his hand, surrounded by a purple aura. He raised his sword into position. "Ready," he said. "Zhang Yu, are you ready to receive my attack?" Lu Li suddenly widened his eyes. He leaned back, dodging the opponent's attack. He brought his sword up to block the slash, but he himself was also thrown back. Lu Li thought to himself, his power has indeed doubled. Yixiao jumped high and slashed his sword straight down at Lu Li. He used all his strength to defend, the blade right next to his neck. The pressure was so strong that the arena was destroyed once again. The two judges were sweating profusely. Yixiao broke the stage with one hit. "We should get used to this." Yixiao excitedly searched for his opponent. "Zhang Yu, are you still trying to run?" He sensed the opponent and turned his head. Paralysis burst blade. Lu Li attacked with a new move. Lightning bolts continued to erupt. Yixiao still provoked. "Victory is leaning towards me again." Lu Li continued to use another move, backstab. He circled behind his opponent. Yixiao warned. Swung his sword forward, but Yixiao had already flown away. He said, "Too slow." He jumped high in anger. Pieces of broken stone also flew up because of it. The two continued to fight in the air. The Zhanyu family commented, "Second brother is being suppressed, you crazy dog, how dare you touch my husband, I'll teach you a lesson later, this is truly a battle of experts." Su Guang spoke up, "Let's decide the victory." The lightning bolts from each person shot out, fighting intensely in the air to form a fireball. Both of them were exhausted. Yixiao goes first, "Zhanyu, I've been through so many battles, you're the most insane one I've ever met, so let's end this with one move." He closed his eyes and repeated, "End it," then opened them and executed the hunting technique, compulsory battle intent. The move is explained as follows: compulsory battle intent, the targeted enemy cannot evade attacks for 10 seconds, takes additional damage upon impact, increased damage by 20. Indeed, Lu Li's body was locked, his whole person enveloped by Yixiao's aura. He said, "Let me finish you with my strongest move." He used the move Azure Wolf, a giant blue wolf head appeared behind him. Lu Li said without changing expression, "It's been a long time since I've felt like this." His other hand was doing something gold appeared. Now in his hand were two weapons. "Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, I'm a dual wielder." He had previously killed the guild master of the Divine Light Guild and acquired White Concealment and Hidden Dragon. Explanation: Hidden Dragon is a long-form equipment for assassins, with 100 strength, plus 480 attack, plus 240 critical hit, plus 99 speed. Its characteristic is that it can be split into two hidden dragon swords. Each time is used to attack a target, it leaves a mark on the target, and each mark adds 1% damage, up to 240. A dragon head appeared behind Lu Li. Yixiao laughed maniacally, "Haha, Zhanyu, you really are no ordinary person." He didn't remain indifferent but smiled, "Come on, let's see who's the real madman." One side was the dragon, the other was the wolf, the two sides charged at each other. Too terrifying, the moment of explosion was extremely intense with lightning of various colors, red, yellow, orange, purple, blue, crashing down from many directions, converging at one point on the ground. The point of contact between these energy flows emitted blinding light and shattered the ground into pieces, creating a powerful and dramatic effect. From afar, one could witness just how earth-shattering the event was. The smoke and dust were thick, the two judges couldn't even sit still in their seats. The bald one stammered, "Is there a result yet?" The one with sunglasses scratched his head, "Wait a bit, how can we know with all this dust?" Continuing, the bald one said, "Looks like we can see now, there's a result." The aftermath was devastating. After an earth-shattering duel, the once sturdy arena was now just standing stone pillars, shattered walls, and cracked ground, clear signs of the terrifying power that had collided. On a stone peak, Zhanyu, the survivor and victor, stood tall with great momentum. Opposite him, the defeated one lay collapsed, his body covered in blood, a testament to the ferocity of the match. Zhanyu is the ultimate winner. Congratulations to Zhanyu for leveling up to rank 4, someone commented. "What, he leveled up to rank 4, isn't this the semi-finals?" Yixiao bowed to his opponent, "Congratulations to player Zhanyu on advancing to the top 4. Tan Xie stood with his arms crossed, commenting, "Fourth brother really lost, and he lost in a direct confrontation, hard to believe." Dian Dian also said that fourth brother's Bloodlust Anthem and the increased damage from compulsory battle intent plus Azure Wolf were inherently high in damage. How could he lose? Guangshu put his hand on his chin and commented, "The final wave caused a lot of damage to fourth brother. The reason he lost was because fourth brother was too greedy for the attack power that the Bloodlust Anthem provided him, and his own health dropped too low. Moreover, I always feel that this Zhanyu seems to have abundant strength, probably still has a trump card hidden. This kind of strength can be endured and hidden. This person is really interesting." On the battlefield, they may be enemies, but when the match ended, the two returned to a friendly state. Lu Li helped Yixiao up and asked, "How are you feeling?" He replied, "You really know that move, kid? I was careless this time. Wait until I've recovered and we'll fight again." Yixiao was still smiling, pointing at him and saying, "But I have to say, your final move Hidden Dragon is really strong. I lost, but I'm okay with it." Lu Li said, "This is the most interesting match I've had since I started playing this game." He didn't stop there, "Right, do you want to join our Daybreak Guild? If you come, the position of number 3 will be yours." He politely declined, "Thank you for your offer, but I have other important things to do." Yixiao changed the subject, "It's okay, if we're not teammates, we can still be friends. If you need anything, just say so, Yixiao, I'm all in for my friends, I never go back on my word, when you're free, let's hang out offline, get some barbecue and have a few drinks. Lu Li smiled and agreed, sure. The two players left, leaving the mess to the organizers. The commentator said, the intensity of this match has been very clear, please wait a moment, viewers, we will repair and reinforce the arena as quickly as possible. The two judges said with headaches, quickly send someone to ask for instructions from His Majesty the King, how many more levels do we need to reinforce? The one in black said, sir, do you think the next match will be even more intense? The other one put the fish on his head and said, very likely, if this continues, the champion won't even appear before we and the audience are obliterated. A man sleeping in the darkness wearing a red cloak was coughing. In front of him was a screen showing the match, but behind him were many wires attached. That was the king, a voice echoed from outside, Your Majesty. The king replied, what is it? The voice outside continued, the host wants to ask for your instructions on how many more levels to reinforce the arena. He replied, reinforce it to the highest level, don't delay the competition any further, hurry up. The voice outside replied, yes, I will report back. After speaking, His Majesty coughed up blood. The king was nothing but skin and bones, behind him were tangled wires, he had no life left, at his feet was a mountain of blood-soaked paper. He thought he needed to quickly find the strongest warrior, time was running out for him. The repair time was slowly passing. The stage was looking brand new again. Thank you for waiting. Under the encouragement of His Majesty the King, the new arena has been built. This time, the level of solidity has been maximized, there will definitely not be a situation like before again. The host continued, so let's continue our competition. Please welcome the next group of players. Please welcome player number 26, Ah Fei. Handsome and radiating confidence, Ah Fei appeared flamboyantly, saying, the handsome guys on stage. Facing off against player number 1, Daybreak's Guangshu. Ah Fei's confidence was gone when he saw his opponent. He exclaimed, are you kidding me? Why do I have to face a boss? Guangshu calmly crossed his arms and continued, go ahead. Before anything even happened he had imagined the future, but if I were to win and then face the guild master of Daybreak, wouldn't I be the MVP here? Xiao Luo Xiao would definitely worship me, be obsessed with me, and then actively ask me out. Should I take her to Hotpot for our first meal, or to eat Western food? After eating, we'd go for a walk in the shopping mall and then watch a movie afterwards. He was immersed in his thoughts, and he put his hands on his hips, laughing foolishly. Hee. Guangshu interrupted Ah Fei's thoughts saying, bro, do you know what the first thing a mage needs to do when facing a warrior is? Still in his own thoughts he answered subconsciously, what is it? Suddenly Guangshu rushed over and said, it's creating distance. Being attacked suddenly, Ah Fei was a little startled. He thought as he created a fireball, he thought it was a bit heavy, but unexpectedly the speed was so fast. He used intermediate spell interruption to respond. Guangshu asked why he didn't use his left hand to counterattack, as the left hand could cast spells faster and reduce the chance of being hit. Ah Fei chuckled softly and said, you're just lucky. Stop flailing around and execute the mid-range spellcasting. One fireball after another was fired. This is the fire stream technique. Always maintaining a calm demeanor, Guangshu said, right, you're trying to create distance and then use illusions to disrupt my rhythm. The strategy is sound, but unfortunately. With that, Guangshu unleashed his moves, his sword effortlessly slicing through the fireballs that Ah Fei created. Ah Fei was stunned, his face blank with surprise. He slumped to the ground, while Guangshu stood tall, his sword still engulfed in flames. Guangshu continued, unfortunately, your script has gone awry, now your fighting spirit has vanished, you can no longer win against me, surrender. Just as his opponent had assessed, his will was now gone, he couldn't think of anything. How am I supposed to fight this? Once again, the commentator's voice rang out, player Ah Fei has been suppressed to the point where he can't use any skills. How can there be such a big difference between 8 strong players? The strength of Guildmaster Daybreak is truly unfathomable. His teammates outside were also anxious. Little Pepper kept cheering, Ah Fei, get up and keep fighting. Hua Qiu, on the other hand, said, it shouldn't be a skill gap that is too wide. She continued thoughtfully, I remember now, that Guildmaster Daybreak's real name is Yang Guang, he's a top professional player who has been famous for a long time. He's been playing professionally for over 15 years, and has participated in over 100 world competitions, winning over 30 championship titles. 2 years ago, he retired to become a coach. I didn't expect to meet him here. Little Pepper continued to cheer. Come on, Ah Fei, if you win, you can make money. If you lose, it won't be a big deal. Ignoring the encouragement, Ah Fei was lost in his own thoughts. No, I can't completely give up, it's too embarrassing. He looked behind him and saw Lu Li pointing to his head. Maybe he's giving me a hint. He suddenly remembered the past, the sounds of mice and keyboards clicking incessantly. Various voices rang out, save me, they're cheating, WC, go up, don't sell me. Then there was the sound of ordering food. Boss, a box of instant noodles. 3 young men sat in front of computer screens. Ah Fei said, we've finally reached the final world boss. No one has ever gotten past this. What strategy should we use later? The young man eating the bowl of noodles pointed to his head and said, improvise. But Ah Fei sighed. Every time I ask you, you say that, but when we fight, older brother is the one who pulls aggro and deals damage to the boss, second brother supplements and loots, and I can only improvise. I know you guys look down on my gear. Holding a cup of noodles, he raised his hand to explain, no, older brother didn't mean it that way. The other young man stood up and rubbed his head comfortingly. Stop talking nonsense. Older brother deals damage to the boss because he only knows how to hide in the bushes. Second brother, I play support because I need to calculate everyone's skill cooldown times. The other guy nodded in agreement while slurping noodles. That's right. The person who has the most improvisation ability in our group is the one who thinks of ways for the magical horse to glide through the wind and clouds the most. Your unique style is the one that surprises everyone the most. You're not wrong about anything you said. Receiving unexpected praise. Ah Fei blushed. Alright, if you've thought it through, then prepare quickly. We have to fight the boss now. Noticing the change in his opponent, Guang Shu exclaimed. Your fighting spirit has recovered again. Not bad. Did thinking about the past excite your mind? Ah Fei started to retreat. His assistant, the little spirit, appeared. He said to her, this guy keeps rambling in my ear. It's so annoying. CC, play my music playlist. Receiving the order, the little spirit replied, alright, master, playing your music now. The music was ready. The power of music was amazing. Ah Fei's fighting spirit was more intense than ever. He said loudly, that's right. Ah Fei closed his eyes and enjoyed his favorite song, tapping his feet to the rhythm. Guang Shu was quite surprised. Ah Fei ran towards his opponent. Guang Shu swung his sword, but he easily lay down and dodged it. He looked down in shock. Fei's mischievous hand was aiming for his nether regions. Fortunately, Guang Shu's body was agile, so he avoided a fatal blow. He asked, is this your new fighting style, attacking the lower body? After the last attack, Ah Fei regretted that it was slightly off. Then he continued to attack. Well, try this, another fire meteor technique. But it couldn't make things difficult for Guang Shu. He blocked each fireball and commented, the attack is too dispersed, and the accuracy is not high. With that, he flew towards him, preparing to slash his opponent. Calmly waiting for his opponent to get close, Ah Fei immediately used the fire dragon coil technique. A pillar of swirling fire like a tornado appeared on the arena. Little Pepper praised, beautiful, Ah Fei, if you're surrounded by the fire dragon coil like that, you'll either die or be skinned alive. The arena was hotter than ever. The two stood facing each other, unleashing their signature moves. The commentator said, player Guang Shu really seems to be able to handle Ah Fei's moves with ease. He rested his sword on his shoulder and said, from a mage's perspective, your close combat skills are not bad. But a mage is still a mage. With that, he knocked him flying into the sky. Ah Fei raised both hands to defend, his face contorted. And then, in the air, you can still execute the Iron Song technique. Myriad heaven starfire, all for my use, a torrent of fiery affection. A dense array of fireballs appeared above Shu Guang's head, like a net enveloping him. The fire net was unleashed by Ah Fei, rocketing straight down at the opponent. The heat even reached the judges' seats. It's terrifying. Ah Fei's technique seems to have been upgraded. The arena might shake again soon. Ah Fei breathed heavily. Phew, how's that? Was it effective? A laugh echoed from within the fireballs. Haha. It was Shu Guang with his shield in hand. Not bad, that was a decent move. Hua Qiao said, that's not right, such powerful moves aren't hitting their mark. Xiao Jiao was surprised. how is this possible? He's clearly been hit by a lot of skills, but the result is as if nothing happened. Luna also wondered, the opponent hasn't even used any moves yet. Lu Li remained silent, lost in thought. Ah Fei's flames seemed fainter than before. Shu Guang remained behind his sturdy shield, not counterattacking at all. He continued, your attacks are becoming erratic. Indeed, Ah Fei's strength was dwindling, and beads of sweat began to pour from his face and hands. At this moment, he looked half the size of his opponent. Shu Guang began to make his move. That burst just now wasn't bad, but it was just a backlight reversal. Even with his face covered in sweat, he still smiled, anticipating something. The climax has arrived. Shu Guang's sword slashed down in front of him, but the music changed drastically. Ah Fei, who seemed exhausted just moments ago, was now surrounded by white flames. These were the brightest and hottest flames, and with just one hand he managed to block Shu Guang's sword. Infinite firepower explained, consume all remaining mana points to enter the infinite firepower state for 10 seconds. In the infinite firepower state, skills consume no mana, cooldown time is reduced by 70%, and damage taken is increased by 30. Incredible, Shu Guang exclaimed, is that a legendary skill? The countdown began. 10 seconds. Ah Fei asked him sternly, have you eaten? Without waiting for the opponent's reply, he immediately launched a kick into Shu Guang's chin, sending him flying into the air. Great explosion. He thought to himself, great explosion. 7 seconds left on the countdown. Ah Fei's speed was like a rocket. He flew behind Shu Guang and said, expert, your reaction is too slow. Still the great explosion technique, he kicked, causing the opponent to slam face first into the arena floor, shattering the ground. Shu Guang painfully spat out some blood. 5 seconds left. Ah Fei continued to prepare the triple flaming tornado technique. The tide of the match had turned in Ah Fei's favor. Everyone on the outside had different comments. Dian Dian said, a mage this strong, how can we beat the boss? Third brother still smiled, legendary skills are no match for epic ones. Yishao was interested, you've got something new up your sleeve. Shaola Jiao said proudly, Ah Fei is so handsome. Lu Li praised, well done, a lot of progress. Luna analyzed, this type of skill is extremely suitable for Ah Fei's flexible fighting style. Hua Qiao thought, he's worthy of being my brother-in-law. The fireball art had been multiplied 99 times. 3 seconds left. It became a gigantic fireball art, the ball like a miniature dwarf star. Ah Fei shouted, take this, and threw the ball straight at the opponent. Shu Guang looked up at the ball, raised his shield to defend, and thought, if I face this head-on, I might be done for. But nothing is impossible. He used the reflection shield technique, explained as follows, after activation, within 1 second, it can reflect damage. The reflected damage is 30% of a person's maximum health. Truly powerful. Indeed, only 1 second left for both sides to use their full power. That 1 second caused the fireball to fly back at Ah Fei. He was truly afraid of what was in front of him, not even a little bit. Then he was swallowed by the fireball. His teammates shouted his name, Ah Fei. It was clear. The people sitting above commented, what a pity, Ah Fei has failed. Shu Guang's reflection shield swept away Ah Fei's victory. Congratulations to Shu Guang for becoming a 4th-level expert. Looking at his opponent falling, Shu Guang commented, in the last 10 seconds of infinite firepower that he used, both the oppressive power and the idea of combining skills were almost perfect. At the same moment Ah Fei hit the ground, Shu Guang's pants fell down. The entire stadium erupted in cheers and shouts. His butt is so white, shameless, this guy is not only strong, but look at how white it is. Oh my god, what is that? Cover your eyes. Is he showing off? Is that on purpose? Even the host had to remind him, player Shu Guang, please pull up your pants, the entire country is watching this live. Blood smeared across Ah Fei's face and body. He smiled and thought, this is good, I knew I definitely wasn't his opponent anyway. Before completely collapsing, he still thought of the main mission, the goal being to get as much information from him as possible. Second brother, I'll have to rely on you for what comes next.